What's up?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So, how you doing on this Christmas season coming up?
Excellent, excellent. I'm merry as ever. Working on the jolly part.
I got too much jolly for both of us, I think. I got fat man energy. We're good.
No, I'm catching up. Don't you worry. I'll catch you one day, Arthur.
One day.
One day you'll know my pain.
It's just us crying on the floor. All it was milk and cookies. Why? So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Because this is the beginning of the interview, even though I'm a chaotic shithead. And that's how I'm just going to proceed from here on, Ed.
I knew what I was getting myself into. Well, I'm Isaac Viars, and I composed the music for Slay the Stars. Slay the Stars. Check it out on all podcasts.
Insert applause. And
where you listen to podcasts.
So what do you do? What do you like to do, etc.? Just a quick intro. Throw your socials at us. I know you have a YouTube channel that you'll post anime covers to every once in a while in some of your streams.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a, I guess, brief delay on that recently, but yeah, I love to make some anime covers. I always listen to anime music. I mean, it's probably like my guilty pleasure that I listen to, so I'm always like, I could do a cover of that, and then some of them come to fruition. So I definitely have way more ideas for more to come. But yeah, YouTube. I actually forget what my insert YouTube name here. It's I'm pretty sure it's just Isaac Viars, no space.
Let's see, where is it?
ISAACVIARS.
You have numbers? Oh, is that like your Twitter handle? Maybe. Hold on, because it's Isaac Viars 3687. Does that sound correct?
Oh no, that's not it. No, my YouTube, I'm pretty sure is just Isaac Viars.
Oh wait, it is.
But then
that's my B. My B. Yeah, you're good.
It's all good. I think my Twitter. I
was gonna beep half of that
out. Hold on. My Twitter is Isaac Viars also. That's pretty consistent. So
clearly, we are the best at platform management.
Oh, marketing.
I remember somebody yelled at me. They're just like, "Why is your socials different? They're supposed to be the same. Make it the same." I'm like, I'm sorry. So they're the same now. So I mean, you're ahead of me on that regard, because that was sheer social panic. It's like,
yeah. Well, yeah, you know how it is. Well, so I went to school for music. I did undergrad in music, and I was really big into jazz, and I still love jazz. I'm a trombone player, actually, at heart.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Isaac is a genuine world-class jazz musician. He's very, very talented. He is sought after for quite a frequent amount of time. I remember you did All-State, right? Like every year of high school?
That.
Like you made All-State.
3 years.
Oh, right, not freshman.
Yeah, freshman year I did an audition. But yeah, I think sophomore year, second place. Junior year, I got 8th place. Or no, sophomore year was 3rd. Then I went down to 8th. And then I made my way back up to 2nd. So, competition's pretty big here in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was fun. I went to college for music, and then I've been teaching a little bit. Right now, I'm kind of on a hiatus from teaching music. Just have a day job right now and still doing music on the side. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. Been trying to get into video game music and some film stuff, and that's where Arthur kind of reached out to me when I started doing some of that, and yeah, I'm loving every second of it.
So you mentioned teaching. How did that come up? Was that like from college carried over, or was it just people knew how good of a musician you are? They're just like, teach me, please.
Well, in grad school, I mean, it was kind of a necessity to pay some bills and stuff like that. So I was mostly teaching younger kids at that point. But then I taught college for a year. Backtrack. After grad school, I taught middle school band and elementary school band. Oh, God.
And you're still doing it? Are you okay?
No, I'm not doing that anymore. I admire the people who do that so much. It's very hard to do that. Anyway, then I was actually teaching a jazz band at a college. I was just adjunct that year. So, but yeah, I currently stopped doing that, and I'm currently just doing my day job and trying to reconfigure some things, refocus where I'm doing music stuff. So really hoping to keep on the production route of things and composition. So that's where I'm really trying to focus my energy into.
So what's like your go-to instrument for when you're starting to compose? Like, is it, because also another one, you're a world-class mandolinist as well. Is that the correct pronunciation of that? Because I don't remember.
Mandolinianist.
I should have Googled that. Clearly, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, just, mando player, whatever you want to call it. I probably wouldn't say world class, but I definitely like to use it as part of like, get some different textures and stuff in there. And especially, I think, so I did the mandolin on the one tavern music, the background, the tavern track, and the one piece that you guys put together. So that was really cool.
That was one of my favorites I think I found of yours, just sitting on a back burner somewhere. I'm like, I'm using this and I'm not apologizing.
I'm glad you found it. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, no, I definitely have a lot of those. So if you check out my stuff, my Twitter has links to all that stuff and YouTube. So if you find any songs you like, reach out. You can use them. My first go-to instrument, though, is probably just the piano, just to kind of pluck some stuff, and I'll put different sounds on there when I'm recording. So, yeah, that kind of helps it. But since I play trombone, I'll use that if I ever need to, and then I can play guitar too. So I like using strings, but typically when I first start, just go for the piano.
So and I lost you a little bit through there, so I'm going to need to fix some things later in editing. So I
got it on my side.
Okay, so maybe it's me. Shit. Okay. Because we're doing this over Zoom, and you'll never see this video. I will die on that hill. This is my after work time, so I look like a. When you teach, is it mostly like through piano, or do you work like with the instruments you're working with?
Yeah, typically with the instruments I'm working with. So when I was teaching more frequently, I'd be teaching some trombone, some piano. I never, unless I was teaching more like theory and like composition or type of teaching, like if they wanted to learn that type of stuff, then I could do that more effectively with the piano. But if it comes to like teaching like classical piano, don't go to me. I am not a classical pianist. I cannot sight read like actual complicated piano music. So, yeah, not a piano player, but I can play the piano. But yeah, it just depends on what they want to learn. But I probably most enjoy teaching stuff about like arrangements, like composition, and probably harmony and like theory and stuff like that.
Speaking of harmony and theory and arrangements, I guess seamless transition. Why don't you go ahead? Because I know, here's the thing. I was told very explicitly that I'm not allowed to know most of what you and Leah talked about. So what happened was Leah talked to you about what the components of the story that she was planning are. And we're to a point now where we kind of got to, I'm not going to say it on the stream because I don't know when we're putting this up, because we have episode 30 coming out tomorrow, episode 31 and 32 the weeks after. We just found out something. I'm just like, but I don't know if there's more of that because it's Leah. And she's also a stupid good writer. It infuriates me.
Oh my God, I love the character development. Oh, and then she'll attach me to a character and then she'll just rip him away. It's so sad. Well, that's yeah. Oh, Russian lore. Dang it. Okay, well, so I won't say anything like specific, but Leah gave me just kind of a rundown on the concepts and what she was really shooting for kind of like the progression of the story, and a little bit of just kind of like insight on where things are going. So that's kind of where I tried to put that in there. She wanted like a progression, something to build with the intro theme. So that's where I went, definitely like different, like I think there's like kind of three main parts of the full theme. And so you can kind of like gather that's like, a big progression. You have your more spacey kind of a little bit of one thing that we had talked about was putting some horror elements in there. And now the beginning isn't really horror yet, but it kind of like foreshadowed that with like the kind of like piano marimba type of sounds that are in there with the melodic instrument. So definitely has elements of horror there, but it's still innocent at the beginning, and then she wanted a progression. So yeah, I just did my best to kind of build into what her vision was, and it was really mainly all just because she told me what she wanted to happen, and that's why I love collaborating too, because you get to work together and build that vision together, and then it actually becomes something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, like when we heard it the first time, I remember sitting because we had our meeting. We sat and listened to it, and I remember Jen being like, "The fuck is this? Like, this isn't ours, right? Like, this is too good to be ours." Like,
Well, that definitely means a lot.
like she thought I was punking her. Like
Jen, I love you.
Like, I mean, I knew how good a musician you were because we played together in the past, but I don't think they knew that, even though they're just like, it's Arthur, whatever. No, he's good. He's good. Like, you should listen to the intro. He's good.
Yeah, that means a lot.
So what were what pieces did you pull? Like, were there artists or shows or like themes that you pulled from specifically that you were like either listening to a lot or wanted to incorporate? You're like, I heard this. I'm like, that.
Well, like kind of my, I guess, journey, like I started like wanting to make video game music a couple years ago. And so, fantasy is kind of RPGs are kind of like one of the first, most notable type of genre there is for video games. And so then I was trying to make music for that. So I'd already kind of started playing with like fantasy elements and my compositions in that realm. And I love shows like Game of Thrones and Westworld. Westworld isn't fantasy, but it's got the modern kind of like supernatural-ish type of stuff, and I guess not really supernatural, but kind of futuristic and whatnot. But anyway, just like those vibes. So I was definitely taking some influence from like Ramin Djawadi's work and his intro for Game of Thrones and Westworld. And then, I knew I had to have some like space elements. And I mean, what better element for space than like synthesizers? So, definitely some Stranger Things influence in there also. But yeah, and because I had never really, I'd done a couple like intros to like main theme type of things for video games, but really this is like my first intro song for something that's like basically, I guess it could be considered like a drama or a story.
I think we're classified as like a drama on Spotify, which is weird to all of us. We don't understand.
Oh, it's very dramatic. But yeah, so I was trying to listen to a bunch of different intros and stuff like that, and so yeah, those are probably the big three that I drew from, and yeah, and I found a really cool like sample synthesis. Well, it was like strings, like an orchestra, and it was like a sampler library mixing strings with synthesizer, almost like making them into one. And so I used that as in the composition, and yeah, it was just great. I found some really cool sounds to work with, and so it just kind of went from there.
So I'm going to swing back to your equipment here in a second because I do want to talk about that. So is there anything like in the theme, like either thematic elements or specifically like maybe instruments as themes that you can talk about, like from what's happened in the story so far that you know about? Like, or do you have an inkling of like, I meant that to be Shar, or I meant that to be like symbolizing loss, like moving forward when you were composing?
Yeah, like pretty much after the first intro, like the first section I talked about, which is really just kind of pads and then that melodic toy piano, like xylophone type of sound. Right going into the second section, there's piano and then a cello. And so, yeah, that was Zem and Shar right there. I mean, that was really trying to just the duo, just playing with two sides of things, good and evil. I mean, kind of playing with those elements. So, yeah, that was definitely kind of what I had in mind. And then I just kind of didn't really focus too much on overthinking that or anything, and I just kind of let it build. But that was my starting point because I think I started with that even before I did the first section. I think that second section is kind of where I started with.
I love it. The full thing I think is close to 3 minutes, like 2:40, something like that.
Yeah.
And we've had to cut down the intro, which pains me to do every single time I have to edit it into the beginning. But we can.
No, I think it worked. As a as a first time like intro writer, I think the shorter one. Obviously, people who are listening don't want to sit through a whole 3 minute song every time. But so I love what happened, how it kind of really kind of gets to the point, and I think it's even more memorable to the ear when you can just kind of hear that every time, like how it just goes right into that last section. And yeah, I don't know. I think it was great how it worked out.
In regards to like your equipment when you're building it, so what kind of equipment do you have like set up? Is it like a MIDI piano? Is it like a electric piano, like microphones, instruments, how you record? Like you can just go through all of that?
Yeah, this one I didn't use any actual acoustic instruments, just because the sounds I was going for, I didn't really have a need for those. So yeah, everything was done just with MIDI. I have a complete A49 MIDI keyboard, and I use Logic. So, and then I use like the complete 13 sound library and a few other things. Yeah, I'm totally blanking on the name of that really cool orchestra synthesizer type of mixture thing. So, get back to me on that. Maybe I could do a breakdown of the song and go through exactly which plugins I use for every single one.
That would be an awesome stream if you want to do that later. I know you have like a stream deck that you have set up and you can do all that stuff.
Yes, I do. I do stream on Twitch sometimes. I want to get back into that probably going into the new year. So, yeah, find me on Twitch.
Look forward to 2023 with Isaac Viars. But yeah, I mean, I've hopped into one of them, and then the other one I watched on like the replay. Just you were hyper focused the one time. I don't remember what you were working on. I think it was the part of the tavern like sections that you were working on. I think.
Yeah.
But the other time, I mean, I love dicking around with you, so it works for me.
It's like one of those things. If I like realize that there's somebody there, like in the chat, then I'll try my best to converse with them. But if I'm actually like doing something productive on stream, I'll just let that ride out, because honestly, why I started streaming was just as a form of holding myself accountable and being productive with that. So, yeah, I kind of just sets time aside where I'm not going to be distracted on my phone and all that. The good stuff that we deal with in society today. So is there ever an idea in your head that you're just like, I can't sleep now, I need to get this out? Or are you mostly I'm going to focus on this for this amount of time, that's going to be my creative time, and we're going to move on? Yeah, I think there's been like a few moments where that's happened, where maybe I had a project that I was working on, and the outline of it was, I had kind of an idea in my head, and then like a lot of composition is like problem solving. Depending on kind of what you're doing. If you're trying to make it fit a specific mold, then yeah, it's definitely a lot of problem solving, whereas you have to make certain things work and make it fit the ideas that you want it to. And it's just kind of give you those guidelines to fit that mold. So if I ever have an idea like that, then yeah, I'll need to like probably write that down right away, or just like sing it into my phone or something like that. Otherwise, I just try to stay consistent as much as I can. Just trying to show up. I think that's the best way to put it. Just if you show up, some days are going to be better than others. Some days you're not going to make anything good at all, and some days you'll make a really cool thing, and that's okay to do as long as you keep doing it.
I mean, it's really hard to, especially today, it's really hard to book specific times to either be creative or do specific tasks, just because everything seems so all at once all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely something I learned like when I was in music school. I mean, it was pretty much learning about music, like theory, how to play an instrument of choice. Mine was trombone in college, and really kind of focusing on that stuff, but they don't really like tell you much about real world applications of those things. And I'm not saying that's all programs, but if you're going to go to school for music, I'd probably recommend doing one where you're learning about the technology side of it also. Because when it comes to the technology side of things, I'm all self-taught. And it's I still have a lot to learn. There's it's overwhelming sometimes how much more there is to learn about it, but I feel like I definitely do still appreciate my music school because I have a really good handle on theory and just how music works in general. So definitely still no regrets there.
So have you ever thought about, I mean, I think you're fine. Clearly I enjoy your compositions. I'm not a voice actor, but have you ever thought about going back and trying to either not relearn or just kind of get more proficient with the technological side?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, right now I'm just still doing the self-learning thing, and I've definitely thought about reaching out to some professionals but I guess what I would do before going actually back to school for it would probably be just to reach out to professionals in the field and trying to get some one-on-one time with them. I think that can go a long way. More so than, I'd probably do that better rather than just going back into debt. Not saying I'm out of debt yet, but, more debt.
Just keep shoveling down. I feel that. That hurts me. Too real. So when you were presented this, what was the thought? Like when we approached you and you're just like, okay, cool. Was there like pieces that you had been working on previously that you're just like, all right, I want that component and that component, so I have to throw all these other pieces out? Like, have you changed like what you have in your backlog because of a lot of this stuff? And you're just like, this is not good, this is better. Like, what's your rotation schedule on like pieces you're working on? Because I know clearly you're busy. Like you're working, and then you also you play concerts, and then you also teach. I know you're kind of on like a musical hiatus at the moment, but I mean, you do all these things, and on top of that, you're also married. Like. So,
I am that.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but
I am taken.
So it's not like you have an unbusy life. So is there just stuff that gets like rotated and thrown out, like when you're doing that process?
Yeah, definitely. You can't work on everything at once. Well, I guess when I was teaching more frequently, I mean, I would have to be arranging like a song, like a jazz tune for like the big band for school, and it's like you can just only do one thing at a time. I mean, that's with anything. Like multitasking is a sham. I mean, you can't really multitask in like any capacity. Like obviously, you can throw a show on and like work or something like that, but you're not going to be able to pay attention to the show if you're working, and if you're watching the show, you're not working. So, yeah, there's no way you can do it all at once. So when it comes to like the different styles, because I do like so many different styles, and I don't want to stop working or like making music in those different styles. I just kind of have to find what's kind of what I'm feeling. Like if there's no deadline, then I probably try to do just whatever I'm kind of in the mood for, I guess. And usually moods don't come and go like super quick. I'll be like in jazz mode for like 2 weeks or something, and then I'll want to write some cool like tension music or something for the next week or something. And then so I mean, it never is like totally different from day to day, but I guess it kind of comes and goes in waves, kind of ebbs and flows. But if I do have a deadline for something, I think Arthur, you still with me?
I'm here. I heard if you do have a deadline for something,
we're having some internet lag.
I'm gonna stab. If I had the ability to stab an internet provider in the face, I would. But they don't have a face; they have a conglomerate. So,
yeah. If I have a deadline for something, then obviously that gives me some more motivation to work on that thing that I have to do. And sometimes maybe I will procrastinate with something else, but typically I've learned. After all these years, I've gotten a little bit better about being able to do what I need to do rather than when I was younger. Maybe not so much. Yeah, deadlines help me. As I just admitted, I am a procrastinator. Deadlines help me a lot. So sometimes that means giving myself deadlines and trying my best to stick to those, and kind of making it almost as serious of a I wouldn't say consequence, but just like, on that same level as if somebody was like paying me to do something. If I'm not getting paid for it, I have to kind of still give myself that same kind of pressure, which, as a musician, when you're writing stuff, you're not getting paid for everything. I would say a lot of it you're not. So, and a lot of that is what you're doing to learn. And, that's why we do it, is because we love it too. So.
All right. So real quick before we do some quick fire questions, there was a question that was actually asked. Is there a sound that like you don't feel that music is complete without, like something that you in your soul need in certain pieces of music, or even every piece of music? Like, for example, somebody gave like, I think every piece of music should at least have bass or a bass equivalent. Like, is there something that you feel like music isn't really complete without it? Or are you just to the point now where you've heard so much different music that it's just like, I mean,
Yeah. I like music with rhythm. I don't like, I don't know. Like, I can't really just listen to music if there's not really much happening rhythmically. That kind of sounds more like, maybe, I mean, I guess if there's something going on, like when you're writing background music for something, you can have less rhythm. But even so, it has to be more than just like a drone or something stagnant. There's got to be something changing. I think there has to be something giving it that motion. And so I think rhythm is probably the main component to like actually bringing interest to what we listen to. I mean, more than notes, more than cool chords, more than harmony. I think rhythm is the most interesting thing that is in music. So that's probably what I would say if I had to have one component or like one element to music. It's got to be rhythm. There's got to be some kind of rhythm there.
Alrighty, quick fire questions. Let's see.
Oh God.
All right, you ready? I'm going to start you off real quick.
Maybe.
All right, favorite color?
Green.
All right, star sign?
Gemini.
Favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Favorite TV show?
Okay, see, I was talking to my wife Lindsay about this, and there's like different categories, man. I love anime, but then like I wouldn't like group that with like real TV or like real people TV is what I call it.
Like the normies?
Yeah. So we're gonna say Tokyo Ghoul for anime, and we're gonna say Breaking Bad.
What's your guilty pleasure show?
Probably like The Office.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you have what goes on a hot dog? Like if you have a choice, free reign of anything, what's your hot dog toppings?
Oh, well, I'm a West Virginia boy, and I probably like chili, cheese, and if somebody's making it for me, if I'm making it for myself, I'd probably just stop with like chili, maybe ketchup if they have that. I don't know. Probably wouldn't mix the two, but maybe some relish. But if somebody's making it for me, I'll just get whatever they give me, Just I trust you. You know how to make a hot dog. Put the mustard on there. Put the onions. Put the chili. I don't care. Put it all on there. Depends on where I'm getting my hot dog from too, I guess.
That's true. Is there places you will like? Have you ever gone to a specific hot dog place like that's built for hot dogs?
I mean T&L.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Do you collect anything aside from instruments?
Oh, I have like a lot of anime figurines, like the mystery bag keychain things. I have a lot of those. You can actually see them right here, but
oh my God,
you won't see them if you're just listening.
Sorry, guys. This is for me only. I apologize.
Check in my stream. You'll see them behind me.
Are you a Mac or a PC guy?
Mac, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I love Macs and I hate them at the same time. Honestly, the only reason I hate them is because I can't play games on them, but not as many games as I would like, but they do a hell of a good job for music, and that's what I do. So
I've noticed a lot of like musicians and voice actors have Mac specific stuff. Is that like how you got into that, or was it like just before going into music as a profession?
Yeah, no, it was honestly because of music. I had a laptop, just a laptop for a while, and it was probably just because of the laptop I had it was supposed to be good. I don't want to say any brands or anything, you know. But like it couldn't even run Finale, which is just a notation software. And I was trying to write a big band chart, and it couldn't handle like, you know, having like 15 lines at the same time.
That's nothing for a big band.
Right. Well, I mean, and so the PC, like it kept, I lost. Okay. Really what happened is I worked all night. I was writing, got like done with this arrangement. It was while I was in school. So it was like due the next day. And it crashed out on me, and I lost like a big portion of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a Mac. I need something that's like reliable. And that's really what did it.
Okay, perfect topping on a pizza. And what doesn't go on a pizza? If you hate, like, is there anything you don't want on a pizza?
I'm all about like buffalo chicken type of stuff. But I recently had some really great pizza from Pies and Pints, and it was like Gorgonzola grape pizza.
Really?
I had never had it before. Yeah, they had some kind of sauce on there, and then like the cheese and grapes. It was amazing. I do highly recommend. If I had to pick something not to go on a pizza, never put anchovies or sardines or anything like that on a pizza for me. I'd probably stay away from olives, but if it's mixed in with other good stuff, then I'm okay with it.
Favorite venue you've played at?
Favorite venue I've played at? I got to play. Okay, so it wasn't. Okay, so it's called something else now, but Heinz Field. I got to play at the side room. It wasn't on the field or on there or anything, but it was like a side like conference room type of thing, and I got to see the whole view like I got to see the field while I was playing. Super cool. And then it was actually for like a 4th of July thing. So then we walk outside, and then in Pittsburgh, the river's right there. If you're like, you know, Heinz Field's right on the river. I forget what it's called now. I know they just changed the name. But yeah, then they did like a whole fireworks display out there. It was really cool. So
That's awesome.
that's probably my favorite experience doing that.
Did you have any other like cool experiences? Maybe not like playing, but like maybe going to like a concert or anything?
Well, I mean, I got to play at Jazz at Lincoln Center when I with the college groups. So that was really cool. You know, just being able to play on the same stage that those guys play on. But one of my probably favorite shows that I've seen is I got to see Metallica, and they did like the spinning stage type of thing. So like everybody was
dude, that's
surrounding.
awesome.
So I guess it was not really spinning while they were playing, but they would like turn in between songs, so then they could face a different part of the audience like for each song. And then Robert Trujillo is just kind of like just running around the whole entire time with his bass down to his knees. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. I still don't know how you play bass like that, but he can do it.
I don't know, man. That's on him. I can barely play bass. I can play string instruments after like an hour, but like it takes me an hour.
Don't let Arthur fool you. He's a madman on the guitar.
I'm a retired guitarist. Very much emphasis on the retired.
I beg to differ.
Genie, you get 3 wishes. You can't wish for more money. You can't wish for can't wish for more wishes. You can't kill anybody. You can't make anybody fall in love with you.
Oh, dang it. Those were the 3 wishes. Okay. Let's see. Who not to kill? I'm just kidding. Man, I mean, I would definitely probably, okay, can this be combined into one wish? Like house with a studio built into it? Because definitely need a house with a studio.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's your wish.
Okay.
I mean, you play D&D. You know that you can finagle some wordage.
Okay, that's one wish right there. Second wish, man, this is a hard one. Probably bring Jimi Hendrix back to life. Second wish. And then third wish is, since I can use my wordage, solve everybody's problems at once. Does that count? I think it counts.
I mean, we can try. I mean, there's probably some verbiage. I mean, there's going to be like a subsection, category C, subsection 2. That's the genie's lawyer that needs to figure that out. That's not our problem.
Sounds good.
There might be tied up in some court later.
Yeah,
Who knows? What is currently your biggest influence?
My biggest influence right now, probably I've been really enjoying some like Japanese video game music. So really like Nobuo Uematsu. A lot of his compositions with like the Final Fantasy stuff, and I think he even did like some of the Smash Brothers music.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really just like kind of Japanese music in general is what I've been really listening to. Like I mentioned before, I listen to a lot of anime music, like J-pop, J-rock, and
So good.
yeah, no, there's so many good stuff. So like all the time, I'm like hearing something from a production standpoint and from like harmony and theory standpoints. I'm like, what the heck are they doing there? And then I go figure it out. But at least from a production standpoint, I still don't know what they're doing. But that's the goal, is to keep trying to figure out what they're doing.
Because I know, like speaking of anime, I know there's things that being a sound designer, I've listened to. First of all, I love how to. Not How to Train Your Dragon, Jesus Christ.
Hey,
That
that's a
time I
good
got
movie.
reincarnated as a
Okay.
slime. I mean, it's a great fucking movie.
Okay.
That time I got reincarnated as a
Yeah.
slime. It's just the sound design on all the magic effects boggles my mind because of how good it
Yeah.
is. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
How do I do that? I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I get frustrated for an hour.
Definitely. No, that's definitely something, like when it comes to SFX, just like I really think so. I go back and forth. I'm like, oh, I could do that, and then I actually like go into doing it, and or like find a video of somebody showing you how to do that, and they're using like 24 layers for like the tiniest like sound effect, and I'm like, oh, that's why it sounds so good, is because they like are extremely tedious and really amazing at doing that. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. We're putting together after the new year starts. So I think episode 33 or 4, all the spells that we have are going to start having like a specific sound effect instead of me just like being like guessing, which is what I've been
I
doing.
love
I'm
it.
like, I know that it had that and
Yeah.
that. Got to figure it out.
I love it.
Now I'm saying that and watch January 1st, be like, how did I forget that one? Favorite venue. I think that's it for the quick fire
Oh,
questions.
thank God.
Um, so we're gonna jump into D&D now. I know you play a little D&D.
Yes, I do.
What's your favorite aspect of it? Is it just getting together with everybody? Is it like the storytelling? Is it just existing in a fantasy world for 5 minutes?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely the just the getting together with friends is a huge part of it. My most recent campaign, we started in COVID, similar to like think what you guys did, and yeah, and we've been going ever since. I mean, we're still in the same campaign. Our DM, they're so great, and they've been just building this story and building it and building it. And I always think we're like getting somewhere, and then there's like more to it. And but yeah, really the most fun part is just getting together with friends who are just willing to kind of go to places with you. You can just kind of go there with each other and just experience the same things. I like being able to, like, the freedom of it, being able to write your own story. I feel bad for DMs because they probably one of the reasons I'll never try, and I don't want to say never. Leah told me never to say never about being a DM, but they put in so much work, and there's probably so much of it that just goes unused because of party people. The people in the party just freaking go wherever they want, go on tangents, and just take everything off course. If it was me, I'd be like, no, get back here. Try to, do what I want you to do. I don't think I could give up that control.
So you started playing like at the beginning of the pandemic, which I mean, yeah, that's kind of how a lot of us got started, I think, with like
Yeah.
playing
I
consistently.
had played a little bit. I had played in college, but nothing. No campaign was ever like consistent. I guess like there would always be something that happened with somebody couldn't make it. We were just never. They would always fizzle out. So maybe we would get like 3 episodes or 4 episodes deep, and they were always really fun. And then it always kind of fizzled out. But I guess the consistent D&D campaign started with COVID, and but I always loved it before that too. So I definitely had some experience going into it. But yeah.
So do you guys, is it like a once a month type deal, every couple months?
It's changed. So there's been times where we've been like weekly, and then people get busy, and then it might be we try to fit one in every 2 weeks, every month, at least once a month. We've been trying to do some, at least probably I say every like 5 months or so, we get like an in-person session because we do it over Discord.
That's awesome.
And so we're all kind of in different places. So that's like some of the most fun times is whenever we finally convene in one place, and then we just have a blast and, obviously hang before and after. And, those sessions go the longest for sure, because we don't want it to stop.
So what are you playing right now? Like what's your class? What you got going on?
I am a sexy tiefling warlock. Hold on.
Oh my God, you have a mini.
I have a mini.
Yes.
Look how sexy.
So sexy.
Yeah, blue hair.
Is that blue hair or is that, yeah,
Definitely.
I was going to say, is that my camera tricking me because it's fun to deal with sometimes?
No, yeah, usually shirtless, at the very least, usually have my like chest and abs showing. But yeah, I think obviously, as any good warlock does, I use Eldritch Blast a lot. But
Of course.
a fun thing we were I guess our whole campaign is like we're all pretty good people, and we try to, as much as we can, we're not always able to, but we always try to talk our way out of the fighting situations. So that's kind of one part of it I like doing. And even if there's an inevitable fight, just trying my best to try to just like get something to happen and just like kind of coerce things, just talking and trying to roll and seeing if I can persuade people. So yeah, that's been a big part of it.
But so you guys, do you record it?
We do not.
I was going to say.
Yeah, no, we do not. There's been we've thought about it, and for our campaign, I was writing music for our campaign, and so whenever we did the in-person session, I wrote some like battle music and stuff like that too. That's so cool. Whenever that all comes together, we play the intro at the beginning, and then whenever the time comes, do like the big old baddie battle and everything, and then have the outro at the end. I mean, it really just makes it all work. I love it.
That's awesome. You jam it in a corner, be like, hell, just blast.
Yeah. Should have been a bard.
That's Leah's favorite class.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. She's the most chaotic character. Don't let her fool you. She's the most chaotic player you'll ever meet, but she doesn't want to admit that.
That's honestly hard to believe. Just seeing how she DMs and listening to that. I would love to see it though.
That's the thing. She's infuriatingly good at being a DM.
Yeah, really good.
Especially since when we started, not saying that she was bad when she started, like the fact that she's learned D&D within the last, I'd say 5 years. Like it's shorter than 5 years. I'm bad with time now and I don't know. Like the fact that she's gone from that to that level of mastery as a DM is infuriating.
Yeah. Because
very different DM styles, but she's also one of those people who's just like, I want to cause as much chaos as possible, but not let anybody know that I'm doing it.
Very sneaky.
I know it's
sneaky.
At some point, we're going to talk about the old campaigns like that we played during COVID, because I remember during COVID, we were playing every other day. And I would go into work exhausted because we were playing until 2 or 3 in the morning. Not that I was asleep at that point anyway. I don't sleep at night. I'm a vampire. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if you're a vampire.
But still, I remember being stuck in a Scottish accent. Walking into the bank.
You told me about that.
Because I was doing it for like 9 or 10 hours.
Yeah.
And it just stuck when I went to sleep for an hour. I'm like, and I had like meetings all day. And I'm just like, this is bad. But is there any classes like you want to play or any adventures you're looking to maybe not? I know you guys got your own campaign going on and you kind of want to see that to fruition, which is awesome. I mean, I wish you luck. What's your level, by the way? Like what level of playing are you at?
I'm at level 7 right now.
So you're kind of like on the high mid tier.
Yeah. We're getting up there. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, our sessions, we got usually a lot of dialogue. We have like a party of 6. So, there's a lot to get through in a session. So, getting up there, like doing it. We had a one shot recently where it was just like, we were like these. So I guess all of our campaigns so far have been just like homebrew. I really don't know much about like actual D&D lore and stuff like that. Just kind of play it by the seat of our pants, and we just go for it. And
the best way.
And we did a one shot recently, and I was essentially a deer. We were all like some sort of beast. That was like the thing we had to be. Some sort of like animal. And yeah, I mean, we still had classes and everything, but my guy was Renwick Fauna. And so, I mean, if you want more, okay, so here's how it went. So it was actually a doe, a female deer. And my dad died, a doe, a deer. Okay, I'm stopping. Okay, so my dad,
I was trying not to laugh.
my dad had died like when I was really young. And basically, I grew up like wanting just like the vengeance, you know, I had that brewing inside me, and nobody respected me as a doe. And so I basically found, I don't know, I think they were his antlers. That like I had found, like, because I was there when he died, and I don't really remember exactly what happened because I was so young, but I somehow got to keep the antlers, and I fashioned them into this hat, and then I basically acted like I was a buck, and so I had like this hat on with the antlers, so everybody thought I was a guy, and then at the end I revealed the true reveal. Our goal was to get to the top of this mountain, and essentially there was going to be answers to be found at the top of this mountain. So yeah, I mean, it was a really cool campaign. Everybody kind of had their own like goal that they were seeking, and we all kind of just met up. It was a one shot, so but it was super fun. I don't know if I have any specific like adventures I want to go on. I mean, yeah, can't say I have anything specific in mind, but usually, just I like playing, and I trust the DMs I play with that they'll just kind of make an adventure for us and create a whole story.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you like looked at yourself like, let's say like 15 years ago, like where do you think that you would have been what you're doing now, like musical composing and playing D&D and being just a general nerd and loving it? Like, is that like how you would have seen yourself or thought your life was going in that direction?
I honestly probably at that time would have been like, oh, I'll be playing in like a symphony or something. I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do back then.
I don't think any of us did.
But yeah, no. But I mean, you grow up and you're the same person you are when you were younger, and it's like even if you think you're gonna be one thing, you're gonna be the same essentially. You're gonna learn and grow, learn all kinds of things along the way. But I probably would not have thought I would have been here, married, especially too, married at a young age. I'm 26. I guess that's young for some people to be married. But probably, I probably would not have envisioned myself here, but couldn't be happier.
I think I'm out of questions. That doesn't mean that you're out of answers.
I'll just keep rambling.
Yeah, go for it, man. Keep going. So your music, where can we find it? I think SoundCloud, is that where you keep most of the stuff you've worked on so far, or is it on your website?
Yeah, I do have stuff on SoundCloud. My website is isaacviarsmusic.com. And I do have stuff on SoundCloud. I on Spotify currently and like all the streaming platforms. I just have the Slay the Stars intro right now, but I have some other stuff in the works, and hopefully going to start putting
stuff you're not allowed to talk about. I know you're infuriatingly vague about that kind of shit.
I got to do what I got to do, but yeah, hopefully putting some more stuff out there. Yeah, and I would love to keep doing stuff like this, and it was one of the best opportunities I've had so far, is being able to write music for y'all's podcast, and it's so cool.
It's been nothing but a pleasure to have you. I mean, always. I mean, first of all, I love you. You're like a brother to me. We've known each other for forever, but to see you grow into just such a good, both composer and musician in person has just been so amazing to see. So
likewise,
it's always a pleasure to hang out with you and be with you. But yeah, that's where we're at. I don't know where we're at time-wise, because I realized that I had the test session that was...
Well, you probably don't want to keep hearing me just ramble on about nothing, so...
I always love hearing you talk in general, but I think 15 minutes. Okay, we got about an hour's worth of stuff that I need to sift through. Any final mentions of what you want to do, where people can find you, an email? I don't know. I don't know how socials work. I'm very bad at this game.
If you want me to write music for something you have in mind, whether that's like some kind of, I love putting audio to visual things, and this D&D is very visual to me in the sense that, like, you know, you're seeing everything happen even though you're just listening. So I mean, just putting audio to stories and stuff like that. I mean, I love doing that. Didn't know I loved doing that until like a couple years ago. So I would love to keep doing that. If anybody needs me to write music for a story they have, or a game, or a podcast, hit me up.
We'll make sure that when we post this, we'll put all your socials and all your links ahead of time. So
I will get you the right ones.
I don't have to try to. There's just going to be a period of me bleeping everything out because we've said everything wrong up to this point. But yeah, Isaac, thank you for being interviewed.
Of course.
It's always good to talk
Thanks
to you.
for having me.
And oh yeah, man, I love you, man.
I love you too.
In honor of traditional Christmas, is there any Christmas traditions that you do for the rest of the holidays going forward? Because this is pretty late December at this point. I say that as it's like the 5th.
Honestly, not really anything crazy besides just watching as many Christmas movies as I can. Yeah, we're definitely suckers for just the cheesiest movie. We just watched Christmas Vacation and Elf back to back. So, you know, I don't care if it's
great choices.
I don't care if it's like if they're cheesy movies or anything, but love it.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you want to say.
Oh yeah.
And thanks, Isaac. Always.
No problem. Thank you, Arthur.
Thanks. And cut. Okay, we're good.
Our awesome intro music is brought to you by the one and only Isaac Viars. Character designs by the lovely Cam Gonzalez. Produced by our very own Leah Hemrick. Graphics designer, the one, the only, the me, Jen Kearney. And last but not least, our audio engineer, Arthur Pelino. Thanks for listening.